Tonight, the Pinellas County Sheriff's Office is once again defending deputies' actions, releasing hours of video from squad car cameras, radio traffic, and reports over the deaths of 3 teenage girls.
But loved ones insist the Sheriff's Office is hiding the truth about what really happened.
Yet at times, other marked cars are using their lights, racing to get there. This video shows at 93 miles an hour.
Southbound turn to the trailer park, frontage road. It's just going to dead end back to the cemetery. Let's get me some units up here and get K9.
Just some 5 minutes after the undercover unit started following the teens, it takes a tragic turn in the Royal Palm Cemetery.
He's off-road in the water. They're in the water stranded. Cars bobbing around. They're trying to crawl out. Looks like somebody had a window. I see a foot coming out. Bobbing around. They're trying to crawl out. Looks like somebody had a window. I see a foot coming out.
Yeah, I got a good vantage point. There's nobody out. It's sinking still. No, I don't see anybody. It's going down now. I hear him yelling, I think. They're done. They are 6-7, dude. Did you hear him yelling? I thought I heard him yelling as it was going down, but now they're done. They're done. There's nothing in the... Unless they bailed out before me, Dutton said he's off his feet. Well, he's not really getting a track. Did he even try? He was driving. I think Howard was right on his ass. I kind of sounded like he was.
This is the Royal Palm Cemetery, where the Pinellas County Sheriff's Officer, Howard Skaggs, chased the 3 girls to their deaths. The Sheriff's Department says that they weren't chasing the girls or pursuing them, but they were right behind their car doing 35 miles an hour, according to their own reports. I'm going to take you through this road. Now, this is in the daytime. Imagine this at night at 35 miles an hour, just so you can see. That's 35 miles an hour right now. According to the Pinellas County Sheriff's Department, this isn't chasing. That's not chasing them, according to Robert Gualtieri. And that's where they died. Not knowing who was behind them, Officer Skaggs was in an unmarked car. He did not have his blue lights on, but he did have his bright lights on, running right behind them, trying to scare these girls into the pond.
All 3 of these girls have criminal histories for grand theft auto. And I'm just going to run through those briefly. You can see on the photographs it's laid out here as to what those criminal histories are. But Butler has been arrested in 2015 for retail theft, for being a runaway, for auto theft, for burglary, for auto theft again, and for trespass. Miller had been arrested in March of 2015 for grand theft auto. And Battle was arrested in November of 2014 for burglary and trespass, February of 15 for grand theft auto, March of 15 for grand theft auto, May of 15 for failure to appear, June of 15 for failure to appear, July of 15 for violation of probation, home detention, November of 15 for grand theft auto, December of 15 for burglary, possession of marijuana, and failure to appear, and again in January of this year for grand theft auto. At the time that she died, she had an outstanding warrant for violation of probation on the burglary charge. So between these 3 teens, they were arrested 7 times in the last year just for grand theft auto. We've been plagued for over a year with excessive auto thefts being committed by young, primarily black, young people. Most of the young people live in South St. Petersburg, but steal cars throughout Pinellas County and in Tampa.
You can never whip these boys if you don't keep you and them separate. I found that out in Birmingham. You've got to keep the white and the black separate.
When they steal the cars, they engage in other crimes like armed robbery, drug distribution, and then dump the cars or run from the police and abandon these cars. Of those 1,733 felonies, 1,146, or 66%, were black juveniles.
It doesn't matter whether or not the person that is accosting your son or daughter or my son or daughter, my wife, your husband, my mother, your parents. It doesn't matter whether or not they were deprived as a youth.
Of the 817 that were arrested by the St. Petersburg Police Department, 88% were black juveniles.
It doesn't matter or not whether or not they had no background that enabled them to become socialized into the fabric of society.
Of the 1,733 felonies, 339, or about 20%, were grand theft auto. And of all of those, 87% were black juveniles.
It doesn't matter whether or not they're the victims of society.
But law enforcement chasing these kids and arresting them is not solving a thing.
The end result is they're about to knock my mother on the head with a lead pipe, shoot my sister, beat up my wife, take on my sons.
In the meantime, law enforcement will continue to do our jobs in an effort to keep the community safe.
So I don't want to ask, what made them do this?
The sheriff's office tells 10 News that they stand by their actions and don't believe the deputies chased the car, so there's no internal review. Now, the sheriff insists it's part of an epidemic with teens and stolen cars.